What's up, guys? Welcome back to the positive zone. I'm, I'm gonna change it up for as long as it lasts, basically. But yeah, no, it's a classic one post game live show. With me and almost the entire season, I'm gonna trying to bring a member in for these shows or more members because it's more fun because I already spoke about it in my match reaction, so I want different opinions and ideas, whatever. So with me is, as usual lately, Norbert. How are you doing today?
Hey, I'm I'm really well. Juventus won, my team won.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's that first half was amazing. But yeah, let's talk about it.
Yeah, like I said it, like I ended my Udinese stream last season where I'm like, finally it's over. And yesterday I came on, and I was like, finally it's back. Like it's back, you know. And I try to, excuse me, I try to be like positive, balanced yesterday, you know. And I thought I managed to do that. Like I didn't go over the top, and I wasn't negative. Even in my player ratings, I kept it very basic. First game of the season, but yeah, I was pleased, and it's good to go into the week calm, nice. Even with the transfer window, that's not really a window for us. It's good to just go into the week and like be chill, relax, and build up to next Sunday where we play Bologna, who, from what I've seen today, should not be a problem to beat at home at all. But let's get into that. Um, Before we go break down like players, first half, second half, whatever, just general thoughts, feelings after that game. Not we're gonna win the league whatsoever, but just the feelings after watching the first game of the season for us.
So I'm afraid if we're going to sell anyone from that starting lineup, it could be an issue. And I don't want to change formation. I don't want Berardi. I don't want anything. I just want maybe sell Kostic, bring maybe like a right wing back in, like a sub for Well, and that's it. I think we're good. We have one competition. I mean, two with the cup. This squad is good enough. As you can see, the movement coach did his job well as all preseason. We played really good and we continued that play. So and I don't know. Alexandro has a place there. I felt he's okay there. Of course, if there's a way to Gatti can play where he played, then what? Danilo goes there, and then it's a mess. So I don't know. But overall, I'm really happy. That first half was really good.
Yeah, let's. I will touch on Alexander individual things stuff later on. We will do that because there are some individual players we need to go over and situations that, excuse me, have been created based on yesterday's game and subs and what decisions. I think big decisions, but like just in general, that first half. And I hope Anina's in the chat because she called me out when I don't know. I think we played Real Madrid the second game, and she told me. Uh, she said, "I don't see anything you proclaimed, up top that there was more, movement or whatever. And I was like, the first thing when that Milan game ended, because I remember I did a match reaction. I think the first thing I said, I was like, up front, it looks different. Maybe it's preseason, I don't know, but it looks different. I watched the Real Madrid game, same thing. I watched Atalanta game, same thing. I'm like, this is not coincidence. We're trying something different. If it's gonna work, I said, I don't know. If it's gonna translate in the league, I have no idea. But it translated yesterday, and I'm talking about the first half here. We'll go to the second half. That first half was like every preseason game. We were on it from kickoff. It was good. It was, how do you want to say, like, it was streamlined. Like, it wasn't all over the place. One pressing, the other one's just sitting and waiting, like last season, and then it was just pointless. It was pressing, and the second guy starts pressing 10 seconds after the first one. I'm like, that's pointless. Just don't press at all at that point. But it was good, and you get that first goal. That helps, obviously. that helps big time to get that goal. But even if we didn't get that goal, I think we would have broken that game open relatively quickly because we were on. No, I didn't say the under 23s. Whatever. It was after the Milan game in the Discord chat. After the
I
Madrid
remember
game,
that.
excuse me.
I
After,
remember that
yeah.
100%. I remember Hanin said that nothing. She sees no like big change.
But whatever, I said defensively, and we will talk about that. But the first half I was pleasantly surprised. It was just what I saw preseason up front. Giving goals, and again, like in preseason, is Cambiaso, Chiesa, Miretti. They're involved. Like they're really involved in what we're trying to do, and it was all left-sided. Like Real was kind of anonymous, but not his fault because we were dominating on the left side. Like we were just overrunning them. So you just play through the left. But that link-up play with Cambiaso, Chiesa, Miretti interchanging, coming in and out, especially Cambiaso, and we'll touch on him as well. I thought that looked actually very, very good. 45 minutes, they flew by. I remember last season watching the first half, and it felt like they took 90 minutes, for one half, and it was just get it over with, just blow that whistle. And for a very long time, um, I was watching that game, and when he blew that whistle at first half, I was like, damn it, a shame, like shame, like that was fun to watch. So, what do you saw, like big picture, first half? What was your big takeaway, especially that first
Yeah,
half for now?
yeah. I watched it 2 times.
Yeah,
I
you
told
told.
you as well. And what we played, I didn't see during the preseason because Cambiasso played as an
Yeah,
like an inverted fullback, and lots of times he was in the middle. Lots of times he was like he collected the ball, and then Alessandro went on the left. It was like Cambiasso was like the third attacker with Chiesa and Vlahovic many times, and it was awesome to see that the pressing, as you said, like 5, 6, 7 player was pressing. It was really good, and yeah. So many people say, okay, we started last season as well, 3-0 against Sassuolo, but come on, the play was a lot different. That didn't feel like
no,
a big victory, but this one is different. So
I uh, I remember
yeah,
that Sassuolo game, and I
yeah,
remember coming on, and you can really look that up. I think it was the live after that one. I said like we won, but it wasn't good. Like let's not kid
yeah.
ourselves. I said it wasn't that good. That's what I said. I remember that very very well. I wasn't impressed. I said like we scored 3 goals, but it wasn't like I remember Sassuolo being very, very, very good. Udinese dominated the second half, but I never felt that like they're really gonna score here. Up to that final Chesney save, I'm like they're just shooting from outside the box. Like that's cool, whatever. Um, but I agree. That Cambiaso thing was good. That was very good. And I will talk about that later on because it fits into the subs he made as well. Somebody saying only one thing I was surprised by was the Miretti sub. He played a solid game. I was surprised as well. Like I'm not gonna lie, because Fajoli came in and he didn't do well because he's not fit, which is fine. We didn't really have a preseason with the team, so I understood that he was not gonna have the impact he had last season, because I don't think he played a particularly good game. Fajoli was not very involved, but I thought Miretti was good. I saw he was getting hate again. I don't really understand it based on yesterday. I don't get it. And I like Miretti, but if he plays poorly, I will say it. I like Chiesa, but if he plays poorly, I will say it. But I thought Miretti again. It works well on the left hand side,
Especially
that link up
yeah,
play, because I think he, especially yesterday in that midfield, that starting midfield, he's the only one who can play it one touch, who can see it, and actually execute it. That's just my opinion, because Rabiot, I thought he wasn't good in that first half, and the second half he shocked me because somehow he find a second long, and he was better, and which is good because that means he's getting into shape. And Locatelli, I'll talk about that later. But I was surprised. I didn't understand why he made that sub. Do you? And he's not injured or something. Like there's no news that he took a knock or like whatever. It's just I thought it was very strange, personally.
Yes. So I saw other podcasts as well, and I can't. Someone says, yeah, he was good, and only the final decision was bad. Sometimes, I think defensively he was really good, and he was fighting. He was fighting back, he was getting back the balls, and I think yesterday in your video you mentioned that we lost the ball, but we were fighting to get it back like immediately.
Yeah, that's not.
So he was especially he was really good defensively. Yeah, some balls he gave away like with his one touch passes, but overall I think he was good. But I believe Fagioli will start even the next
Yeah,
game from the next game.
if he's fit, I agree. I think
Yeah,
like Fajoli and he deserves to start because what he did last season. Like I'm not gonna debate
yeah,
that whatsoever. But if I'm looking at the team and the midfield and whatever, I still think if you're gonna send one out on loan, it should be Nicolucci. That's my personal opinion. We get so many injuries. He needs to play, and I don't see him getting into the team. Like even yesterday, he didn't get minutes. So if you're gonna send one out, if it's one, you know, then I think it should be him, based on his past, because he actually needs to play. He absolutely needs it.
Miretti needs to play as well, so it's a
Yeah,
hard
I
question.
get it, but I'm not sure about loaning two players out. I'm being very
Yeah,
honest.
yeah,
I
one
don't,
of
I'm
them.
not
Yeah,
sure about it. What I've seen yesterday, when I've seen where McKennie has been pushed to play, I don't know. I'm not sure about sending two midfielders out still. So that's that. Other than that, in the midfield, excuse me, in that first half, I thought, you know, up front. Let's talk about up front. Um, Overall, like just overall, because I did the player ratings and I was like, I don't think anyone played below average. Now I said we didn't create like a lots of chances. Like if we're being honest, we didn't create a lot of chances. We just took them, and the game was over, and that's it. But I believe compared to last season, where I also like I said it every single week, we don't create enough chances. We don't. This season, or like based on what I've seen so far, I believe that if we need to create it, we can kind of flip the switch and do it. That's the feeling I have. I don't know, like if we can pin back teams out of nowhere for like 15 minutes mid game. I don't know if that's the case, but the feeling is that we can kind of flip a switch and be like, okay, now we're gonna, take it up a notch and press and, create some chances here and there, because it wasn't needed in the second half, and the second half
yeah,
wasn't about creating chances at all, in my opinion. But based on that first half, I'm like, because last season we had similar, moments like at first half, but it only, was for like 10 minutes, like 15 minutes, if you remember correctly. And the issue was most of the time we didn't capitalize on it. We didn't, and it was still 0-0, and teams get into the groove, and we had no idea how to, get out of it, and go back to those first 15 minutes. Whereas this season, we dominated for an entire first half. It looked good. It wasn't perfect, which I don't expect to be. I don't. Also because like Vlahovic didn't really train with the group all preseason, besides that final week and a half maybe. Um, that's one thing, and it's new, Cambiasso, so it's all new. So I understand it will take time. But that was my big takeaway, that I think we have the ability to create chances compared to last season, where I thought there was no ability. It was just come on Di Maria or come on Chiesa, when you're playing, just make it happen now, because there was no link up play with Kostic last season, or Cuadrado. There was just none. Whereas now it's like, okay, Cambiasso, he's gonna take on a guy, or he's just gonna take on a guy, which last season
yeah.
wasn't the case. So that gives me that extra positivity, or that gives that extra dimension to the club team, where I'm like, okay, it could be different than last season.
Yeah, so we got the lead really fast, and then we got the second goal relatively fast, like the middle of the first half. So we didn't need to like create more and more. And many passes were just a little too long. Many passes, just a little, just the last pass was a little bit off. And I think with time and with more games, that those will be on point as well. So yeah, I felt the same. In the second half, if it's like a closer game, I'm pretty sure it would have been different. So
Yeah,
I agree.
let's go to the second half overall. Besides talking about individuals, just overall, I think that's what we have always talked about during preseason. That there is a drop off. I think like, it was a big drop off last night, but I think being 3-0 up, first game of the season, it was extremely hot. you know,
Yeah,
I
totally.
was like, okay, I can understand it to an extent because I think also us not creating in the second half was because we were very sloppy. It wasn't that we were not in possession. Like that final ball from everybody, Chiesa, it wasn't good enough compared to that first half, and I was like, that's fatigue. That's being 3-0 up at this point. That's just it is what it is. I guess that backline at times didn't hold up really good because I believe, and that's where McKennie comes in. His movement off ball was brilliant again. I really loved it, but defensively he's not good. He lost his runners out of the top of my head because I texted Julian like 5 times, probably more, because I can recall 5 times where I'm like, you're not reading the game here. You should be there. I don't know where you are, but that's who he's gonna be. If we're being completely honest, I think that was the issue in the second half. It was very sloppy. It was very sloppy. It was a bit forced at times, and 3-0 up, first game of the season, extremely hot. I think we will drop off in second halves, especially early. It's just a hope we get over with it because we need to find. You don't need to dominate 45 minutes like we did. It's fun, but if you can do it 20 minutes, take a 20-minute break, do it again, I would prefer that, in my opinion, uh, because it gives you more, how do you want to say, options throughout the game, because you can, flip it on again when you're in trouble, second half, whatever. But last night, I knew it was gonna happen, but it was 3-0. So I was like, okay, I want to see it if it's 0-0 or if it's 1-1. Can we do it again in the second half? And that's the big question. You know, that's when I will be come on and be like, okay, now that needs to be a real working point at this point. But now of one game, first game of the season, I cannot say um, it's gonna be a thing throughout the season. I cannot say that as of now. Nor can I say the first half is gonna be a thing throughout the season. Fair is fair. Um, but yeah, like that second half, what do you made of that? Also we
Yeah, it
made a
was.
few subs as well, which kind of gets you out of the motion.
Yeah, it was what 35 degrees in the afternoon and 29, I think, when they
Yeah, it was
started the game.
29.
So yeah, so that's really hot. Chiesa was dead by
Yeah,
40
yeah.
second minute. He was absolutely dead, no pressing, and he was like reserving his energies for a run here and there. Uh, yeah, it reminded me of like last year when it was 1-0 to us, and then we were defending for the win. But this time you can't blame them. It was 3-0. The game was done. Um, the only thing Udinese was trying to do is they had Beto up front, and then Danilo and Bremer was like locking him up, so there was nothing there. They only shoot like from far, 20 yards, 16, 17 meters away, and
I agree.
many times they were blocked. So he Tech needed to make one big save or two, and that's it. Yeah, yeah. I'm myself as well. I want to see what's happening if it's like 1-1 or just one goal lead after the first half. I want to see that, but
That's the big
let's
question.
hope with games it will be longer and longer, and one day we will dominate the team for 90 minutes.
I agree.
So
Uh, Guys, like the video if you're in. Please do it now because that helps the channel. Really quickly, because you said Chesney, I'm gonna say it. I muted somebody on the channel because he was spamming the comments, and it's not the first time, so I couldn't care less. You you don't listen what I say. I said in the player ratings, I gave him a 7, Chesney, because he was He was crucial. He was crucial. Not that we were losing that game, but like he kept it 0-0 in my opinion. You know, he did. It was because of him. It was 0-0. You know, and I said 7.5. I get why people are against the wages. I get it because I don't think any goalkeeper should be on 7.5. You know, I don't care. You know, that's my opinion. I get it, but to call him average and mediocre, I think you're just lying and you have a weird agenda. I'm sorry because he saved us a lot of times last season, this season, like when we were absolutely bad, like really, really poor, you know. So I don't get it, but I gave him a 7 because he played a good game again. But forget about Chesney now. Um, let's go into the individuals. Let's start with Cambiaso because I gave him man of the match. I think he deserves that because it was his first game and he was impactful. He was, you know, and he was like he was in your face, like he was very present, you know. Um, I get last season first half was poor, but he's been like 5 years, you know. He's been here 5 years, and I'm talking about 5 years. You cannot say, oh, and half a season wasn't good. Forget about the 4.5 seasons. He's average. Like you just cannot do that because if that's what we're gonna do, then top players are being you can call top players average because some top players disappear. But whatever. Um, but I agree that he had a bad patch last season. Um, Cambiaso, I thought he was brilliant. I thought he was brilliant, and I'm still not completely sold because I need to see it multiple times before I'm really convinced, and that's all I'm saying, you know. And I'm praying I'm wrong because we have been starving out here, you know. Just look at the left and right situation of the club. Quadrado, you know, Danilo at the beginning, Alexandro, you know, De Chilio when he plays, like Kostic last season, he got the numbers, but like it wasn't pleasing on the eye. You know, it's very static. But I thought he was brilliant. You know, and I still have some question marks if he can, you know, do it for in season basically. You know, but he's off to a good start, and I will come on and say I'm wrong, and I'm praying I'm wrong, you know, because I didn't call him shit. I never call him shit or whatever. I just said I'm not fully convinced he is that guy, but I get why people think that because you know what we have. It's easy to say I want to see him play. I get it. I want to see him play. I said it. Start him, you know, but I need more, not more in performances, but consistency throughout the season, you know. But he's off to a good start because I thought he was brilliant. I thought he was excellent yesterday. Just hold up play, link up play, defensively. I thought he was great, man. He was great.
Yeah, yeah. Defensively, Sandro was covering for him most of the time. It felt like that was Sandro's that was Sandro's job to cover in behind because Cambiaso was everything. Sometimes he was a DM collecting the ball. Sometimes he was a winger. Sometimes he was in the same line with Vlahovic and Chiesa. So it was. I didn't expect this. He was amazing. And he was accurate. He was fast. He was everything. Really good. Yeah, Udinese is one of the worst teams in the league. So next stop, Bologna at home, and he can show us he's consistent. And then soon, let's see against bigger teams. But Cambiaso is really key there. If he gets injured, I don't know who will play there the same way. And let's hope he will not get injured. I really don't know. Yeah, completely unexpected.
If he's injured as of now, it could be a problem. Not necessarily a problem.
Junior?
Excuse?
I
Yeah,
think Junior can play that.
because let's go to the big thing. Because Kostic didn't came on. I think that's a big news story. You know, he didn't came on. It was Junior, and his explanation or Alek's explanation after the game was like, I had Chiesa on, so I prefer to put on Junior. I didn't really understood that explanation, if I'm being completely honest. just say what it is. Basically, it's more dynamic. No, like it's dynamic. It's fresh.
Yeah.
It's different. It's completely different. I thought that was big time. Um,
Yeah.
I thought it was a big decision, a really big one because it gives you the same kind of type of momentum, if you know what I mean. Because if you go from Cambiaso, excuse me, to Kostic, it's day and night. If you go from Cambiaso to Junior, it's still a bit different because Junior is one who likes to take on more like players more than Cambiaso does, and he kind of not like he's not like Cambiaso where he comes into the midfield. He doesn't really do that, but he goes past players. He links up play. But Kostic is something completely different. So I thought the explanation would be like it's kind of the same thing, not like for like, but you know what I mean. In style of idea of
Yeah.
playing, it's on the same ID basis. Like it's not give it to Kostic and let him put him cross him because that was also going to be pointless because we were not gonna put crosses in. So I was like, okay, that's big time. Do I think Kostic will be sold? I don't, probably not because I still don't see any offers. Like people can write there's interest, but I'm like it's 10 days. Like surely interest needs to turn into talks now. No, like it's very strange because there have been no talks whatsoever. Like at least engage in talks. We can go back to Leicester. I'm just saying something and go for Castagna because you held talks. You know what they want for Castagna. And you already had talks with them because now there's already a basis to go on with. But for Kostic, there isn't. There is no basis. So I thought it was a big decision. I thought it was a big decision. I thought it was a good one. I agree with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I agree with it. But yeah, man. That thing with Cambiaso, if Junior says I'm calm with it. My issue is the right hand side. Because if Weah is injured, we have nothing. Because we're pushing Sule out as well. And there is nothing. They want the Berardi, you're not gonna get Berardi. Cambiaso can play on the right,
We can flip it. I think we can flip it. How we played on the left, we can play on the right.
Yeah,
Chiesa can play on the right as well. So
yeah, he can. So, but I still think we need to add some. Like we need to have some depth. I don't want Berardi, but other than that, we've been linked to nobody. So.
I just don't want to change what works. I don't want to change formation. I don't want. That's the main thing.
With the squad we have, I kind of agree with you. I kind of agree. I do. I'd rather see two center backs, like real center backs playing at center back, not left backs and right backs playing in a back three. I prefer not to see that, but it was okay yesterday. Although Alexander just gave the ball away a few times where he just hit a player who's like just staring him in the face, and I'm like, are you doing this on purpose now? Like, but that's Alexandro, and that's just not going to be. But that right hand side is really thin. Like, actually, it's one man because we played McKennie there yesterday, and we don't want to see it. We've seen McKennie play there, no, and movement off the ball, great. He can time his runs. He knows where he needs to be. But in possession, it's not it. And defensively, and I don't blame him for not being good defensively. Like I'm not gonna blame him. He loses his man way too often, and it's okay against Sampdoria and probably Bologna. It's not okay if you play against big teams and you're playing out there, But I don't blame him for that, The way I was quiet yesterday, but like I said, like play was going on the left-hand side completely for that first half almost, But he was quiet. He had a few good runs. Took a knock. That didn't help. Nothing serious. But I still believe we need to do something on the right-hand side. But let's see. Julian's saying you guys good with Keane and Kostic being sold for around 45 million. If we get our back, like the key news, Fulham, man, if we get our money back, do it. Because I'm not sold on Keane. I never was. When he joined, I wasn't sold. I was like, that's insane money you're spending here on Keane. I don't think he's crap. I don't think he's how do you want to put it? Like, I don't think he is. I'm going extremes, like an Amori type of player, where it's like, oh, what am I watching here? I just don't think it will work out the way he thinks it will work out. He will be the main guy. If you know what I mean. I think he will always be
Yeah,
a sub in our squad,
yeah,
and I don't think he wants to be that. And I think that's a lot of money spent to be a sub, in my opinion.
yeah.
Especially
45 million for the two. That's awesome.
Hanim is
And
saying should be 50 total. Yeah, that would be great, but like, let's be honest.
not realistic.
Do you do you blame teams for not willing to pay 30 million euros for Moise Kean? Do you, or 20 million for Kostic? Like I know it's ideal. Like 50, man, that's great. That's out. Yeah, like, amazing. You know, do that business because I have nothing against Kostic. I like Kostic, but like 31, I guess. I think he will be 31, something like that. Yeah, it's fine. You know, if you actually build on the Cambiaso Junior thing and you give Junior a new deal because 25, same for Yildiz, you need to sort that out if they're gonna stay. Then I'm fine with it. You know, cool. And Keane, yeah, man. You know, you have Chiesa, you have Vlahovic, you have Milik, but you still need somebody on the right hand side to be added. You know, if you're gonna sell Keane, but I'm cool with it. You know, I get the age thing. I totally get that, but personally, I'm not sold on Keane. Like I don't see Keane to be, how do you want to say, like a very key player moving forward. That's just me personally, you know. And I don't think he wants to be. I think he just wants to play, and I get why he wants to play. But that's just how I see it. But Fulham, yes, they got Mitrovic money, but there's no way they're gonna pay that for Moise Kean. I will be absolutely stunned. I will be shocked. I will be shocked. Fresneda is still available. Barca out of the race. Were Barca in the race? Actually, I've not heard anything. You know, the last thing I remember was he's going to Dortmund, like almost done deal, and then it disappeared completely all summer long. That rumor, you know. I don't believe we're gonna be in for Fresneda, even if we have it, have the money whatsoever. What else did I want to discuss? I like individual wise, I think we touched on everyone. Unless you have something to add individually on a player.
Let me see. Yeah, you know, Danilo. He did what he could, you know. I don't know. Like it's
Yeah,
weird for me.
I thought he
It's
was
Sandro,
okay.
you
I
know.
thought he had a good game, Danilo.
Yeah,
Like I don't have high expectations for certain players, so when they have like a game without mistakes, I'm cool with it at that point.
yeah.
You know.
It's just scary to have Sandro and Danilo, you know, at the same time on the field. It's
Yeah,
scary.
somebody told me like Sandro starts and it's like it's just trying to, how do you want to say that, trying to make it make sense, but like come on, like Gatti cannot play in a back three because he doesn't link up. He did it last season, like he did
Yeah.
it last season.
He's
And I'm
pretty
not,
nice with the ball as well. He's
yeah,
pretty good.
and I'm not saying Gatti is world class because when people say I want somebody to play, oh you're gassing up, he's world class. I'm like no, never said that. He can be turning out to be a total bust, and that could be a fluky 3 months. But Alexandro is being poor for like 3-4 years now. Let's say 3. That's my point. Yes, he was good yesterday, but he had a few good games last season. You know, if you know what I mean. He's gone. Like
Yeah.
we tried to terminate his contract at the start of the season. You know.
So
Yes, let's call it how it is. I said Alexandro was okay. He gave the ball away some stupid times, like really stupid, and start an attack for Udinese. But that's who he is.
Yeah.
But he's out of contract. We tried to terminate his contract. We tried to shop him. At that point, I'm like, you should not be starting. Personally,
So what
like
would you
that's
do?
weird.
Would you push up Danilo to the left and then Gatti on the right?
Yeah, I think Gatti should be playing.
Yeah.
I don't think it's fair that when he has a good game, to criticize him, but with you guys, he's a squad player, not a starter. If you watch my daily, my player ratings, I said he had a good game, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna sit here and be like, play him again. No, I'm gonna be honest. Yes, he had a good game, and I said he had a decent game. You know, so that's fine. You know, Milik sometimes has a good game. I'm not gonna come on and say, oh, Milik needs to play now. No, like everybody can have a good game here and there. I get that. That's fine, and I will say that, but I still don't want him to play all season because I don't know which minute it was. It was one time in the 60th minute and one time very late in the game. I remember that. He just gives the ball away like randomly, like no pressure. He just plays him into an Udinese player's feet, and I'm like, why? Like I don't get it. But he does that often. It's Udinese, that's fine. But if that's against big teams, you're screwed. He's
Yeah.
not an easy scapegoat. Like he is who he is. He is who he is. You just need to be honest. You need to rate
Yeah, we need
players how they are. You need to be honest. It's not
yeah.
it's not scapegoating. Like it's 3 years of proof. Like it's not scapegoating anymore. Like it's out there. Like it's well documented. Um, no, not since the Super Cup. He was poor before the Super Cup against Inter. Like he was poor before that. Like it's not that. It's just maybe that was the last straw where people are like, okay, now get him out completely. But I was on it before that. Like time is up, and time is up. Like everybody knows that. Like we don't need to deny. But he was okay yesterday. Whatever. He was good.
Yeah.
I said it. I think I gave him a 6. I thought it was fair. And that's it. Let's move on. Keep it moving.
Yeah, moving forward, he wasn't horrible. With the link up with
No,
with
it
all
wasn't.
yeah.
It wasn't. Um, Individually, I have nothing else to add. In my opinion, I wrote stuff down, but I left a piece of paper downstairs. I'm not gonna get it now. So what I was gonna ask is up to up front, because Milik came on as well, and Yildiz came on. Actually, I want to talk about Yildiz because he came on. He made his debut, and I think he's gonna stay in the first team now. I'm pretty sure he's gonna stay in the first team. The way he's been praised, getting those minutes. I think he has a place in the squad. To be honest,
He cut his hair as well.
he cut his hair. That was that was crazy, but he did it. I know it's like 5 or like 8 minutes, whatever he played. But a bit like Miretti, I can see how he controls the ball, opens up his body. I'm like, yeah, he
Yeah.
can play. Like it's very very early. Like and that I get that, but like technically he's good. He's not bouncing off his feet, whatever you want to call it. Like he's good technically. And I think we will see a lot of him this season. I actually believe that more than we could have expected, if I'm being completely honest. And the same for Huijsen. I think we will get to see him. I think we're gonna get to see him.
Did you see during the game at one point before Milik came in, Yildiz already has his training jersey off, and he was like next to Allegri, and then I don't know what happened, but Allegri decided that Milik will
I
go
missed
in.
that. I missed that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think he will get minutes, and especially if Keane leaves, I think he will get minutes. I think he will, because you can play him. Like apparently you can play him a bit across the board. You can play him
Yeah.
on the left. You can play him in midfield apparently. But I think technically he's good enough to show what he's capable to do. Even if it's 20 minutes here and there, I think he will take it. I think he will happily take it.
Yeah, I think because we only play in the league
Yeah.
and the cup. Chiesa's sub is Yildiz, and Vlahovic Dušan's sub will be Milik, and I don't think we will keep a third striker. So Keane will go.
Kind of agree with that. I like that could be the case, which is, I think it's okay. I think
We don't need a big squad for.
No, I agree. Unless you're picking up injuries, left, right, and center. But you should pray and hope that's not gonna happen. But playing one game a week, it should not happen. If we're being completely honest, like that, if it happens, that's freakish. Cresti Alexander's an important player for Allegri. Whatever. No shocking news here. It's just like we knew that. Like We
He
knew
will
that.
make mistakes in important games.
Yeah.
That's what he will do.
So
He will make
and
mistakes.
he did, and Allegri just praises him and keeps playing him. So I think that's very obvious, that he's an important
Yeah.
player. But that being said, well, let me read this out because, uh, oops. What do you guys think of this take? It's not that Allegri doesn't know how to play attacking football. It's technically inept. It's just he is insanely stubborn on his defensive ideologically.
That's why he
Wait,
needed someone.
um, I get that hot take. I don't think it's a hot take. I think he prefers to be stable at the back before he thinks about something else. But I
Yeah.
think he's come to a point, up to a point. Uh, yeah. So some like people are tweeting out saying that Bremer and Alexandro and Danilo are gonna be the starters for the entire season. So not Gatti. Which whatever, it's wild in my opinion, but fine. I don't think that Gatti deserved that based on the last months of last season. If you're being completely honest, uh, I think that's very harsh because Alexandro was playing really really bad in the last couple of months, and Gatti kind of saved the day for us. He did, so I think that's very unfair towards Gatti.
Yeah.
Um,
So back to this comment. I agree. I agree 100%. And what happened is, I'm not sure if Allegri decided that, okay, people are right. I don't know. I can't teach players how to move. Let's get Magnarelli in, whoever, the big mastermind behind this play style that we are doing. It's basically a coach of movement. And Chiesa mentioned him as well. I
Vlahovic
think
as well.
Magnarelli, right?
Magnanelli.
Magnarelli.
Allegri
Yeah.
mentioned him as well.
Yeah, so I don't know if he asked this dude to come in or someone
Yeah,
else,
no,
and Allegri agreed.
Allegri pushed because he needed somebody, or apparently he wanted somebody who was a bit younger, closer to the players, and who can bring out the ideas Allegri has.
He
And
has
that's
these ideas.
apparently that's what the story is. I think you know what it is. I think he came to a point where he's like, I cannot do what I've been doing the last
Yes.
couple of weeks. Like it's just not gonna work. We need
Yeah.
to be stable, but we were dying up front. Like let's be honest, and that's why I came on last season. Everybody was slating Vlahovic, and I agreed he didn't play well, but I was like, who looks good up top? They cannot all be crap. Like that cannot be the case. Like let's be completely honest. There was no movement, there was no ideas, there were no link up plays whatsoever. So I think he came to a point. He's now reached a point where he's like, okay, yes, defensively be stable, but what's the point when we are inept to create chances or like do something up front on a consistent
Yeah.
basis? So it's needed. I thought it was needed. I think the season will show if it's actually gonna work. For now, it works. Like it looks different, but I think it's a big thing that he came in, and I don't think we can overlook that.
It's the signing of the season, no question. So far, let's see. But
Yeah, now a fitness coach would be great, but let's see
Yes.
if that's gonna actually happen. I'm probably not, but Um, okay, that's that. I think we touched on everything. We just need to. I, th- you know, it's good to be positive. And that yesterday I said like, and I'm not gonna talk about the negatives. I said like working points. Let's call it for that. Like if let's say we are in game day 5 and we have those drop offs still, like big time complete second halves, and I'm like, okay, now it's very worrying. You need like it's kind of moving towards last season, but maybe not to that degree. But if we are sitting here in match day 5 and we can balance it out a little bit, I'll be cool with it because it needs time. I've seen Milan, they're further ahead. I've seen Inter, they're further ahead. I've seen Napoli, they're further ahead. They are. Other than that, Lazio are who I think they were gonna be. It's game 1. I get it. Roma are still the team I thought they were gonna be. I get it. Game 1. Fiorentina look good, but I don't see them keeping it up. But from the top teams, I think Inter, Napoli, Milan. From what I've seen, I've not seen full 90 minutes. I've seen 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and today probably 60 minutes. I'm gonna say, and they're further ahead than us. They are, which is normal for Inter and Napoli. Maybe not so much for Milan because they signed a lot of players. They changed a lot, but they already had an idea last season, so maybe it's easier to implement. But I think game one, I get it, but this is, this is what we need to build on. That's the only way
Yeah.
forward now.
And the championship always, like the league will always goes down on who wins against the small teams, So
Yeah, that was last season our problem.
yeah, so kind of seeing how we beat Udinese. I think it's good. But also, if you look at who Milan beat, a small team, so comfortably, and Inter as well. So I don't know.
Yeah, like we didn't play like the biggest teams, but like we lost twice to Monza. To be honest,
Yeah.
I don't expect that to happen this season. It should not happen this season. But from what I've seen, like style of play, I think they're a bit further ahead. Which is normal. Like I'm not gonna say it's shocking, breaking news whatsoever. It's normal, but yeah, man. Sport Italia is saying, I don't know what they're saying. They're showing a picture from Miretti, but I'm not sure why. I have no idea. Oh, it's Lecce. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. But yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up. I think we discussed everything. Excuse me. I will be back. What day is it tomorrow? Tuesday. I'm not sure if I'm being back. If will be back tomorrow because maybe I'm recording a podcast with Julian. Still need to see. If not, I will be live same time. Probably talking about transfer stuff rather than game stuff because that's for the back end of the week. Let's see what will happen. Keane rumors popping up. Berardi apparently still a thing. Lukaku still a thing apparently. Holm back in the picture. That's something for the right hand side. We'll probably discuss throughout the week. But yeah, everybody who joined in, thanks. Like on your way out. Excuse me. Subscribe to the channel. Thanks Norbert for joining on a Monday, which is not easy on a Monday. I'm not gonna lie. Like I hate doing lives on a Monday because I'm really tired on Monday. But Tuesday I'm almost fired up. From Tuesday throughout Sunday I'm good. But thanks for joining me. If people want to join, a lot of people have become members, but you're not in the Discord. Reach out to me on Discord, and I will add you. All the links for that in the description. Also for the membership prediction league, everybody got the correct result, not the score, but that's that. So you can still catch up easily if you join now, no problem. Link for that in the description. You can join like Norbert does. Because I'm gonna do a lot more members live this season. That's something I need to do, and I will do. So stay tuned for that as well. Other than that, that's it for me. Like, subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I will be back tomorrow.